Entering into the theta brainwave state is what will allow us to access our extrasensory perceptions and abilities, such as telepathy and remote viewing. Delta brainwaves are considered the unconscious level of mind and are usually associated with deep sleep. In some people, however, delta brainwaves are present in waking state. These people tend to have strong intuition and psychic abilities. Frequencies in the delta range have also been linked to healing of the mind and body. In order to harness the full power of your mind, you must consciously enter into and master all 4 brainwave patterns. All of the information in the entire universe of the past, present, and future is available to us, for time is not linear like we've been led to believe. It is like a pool that we can jump into and access any time we want. It is through the alpha, theta, and delta states which allow us to plug into the universal mind for this purpose. There are many ways to achieve these altered states of consciousness. One way is to listen to music specifically designed for this purpose, called binaural beats. But there is another way that's much more life-changing and profound, put here by the divine to help us increase awareness and consciously evolve.
Isn't it interesting that 2 drugs that are legal, alcohol and cigarettes, 2 drugs that do absolutely nothing for you whatsoever, and drugs that grow naturally upon this planet, drugs that open your eyes up to make you realize how you're being fucked every day of your life. Those drugs are against the law. Wow. Coincidence? I don't know.
There are powerful, rigid rules in place which prevent us from experimenting with our own consciousness. You know, my consciousness is what makes me human. It's the most precious aspect of humanity. And I find it extraordinary that in the privacy of my own home, doing no harm to others, I am forbidden by law and may be sent to prison for many years for making use of certain natural plants which shamans, for example, in the Amazon have used for tens of thousands of years to contact the spirit world. It seems to me extraordinary that governments seek to control the experiences we have inside our heads, not what we do, but simply the experiences we have. This is a very sinister development. It's a huge intrusion on the liberty of a responsible adult in an advanced society, and yet we're being persuaded to accept this as the normal run of things.
Why is marijuana against the law? It grows naturally upon our planet. Doesn't the idea of making nature against the law seem to you a bit paranoid? You know what I mean? It's nature. How do you make nature against the fucking law? Grows everywhere, serves 1,000 different functions, all of them positive. To make marijuana against the law is like saying God made a mistake. You know what I mean? It's like God on the 7th day looked down at His creation. There it is, my creation, perfect and holy in all ways. Now I can rest. Oh my me. I left fucking pot everywhere.
To think of someone going from birth to the grave without ever coming tangential to the psychedelic experience. It's like going from the birth to the grave without ever discovering sex.
I think our ancestors discovered altered states of consciousness. And I think they initially discovered these altered states through their encounters with certain plants that they perhaps sampled as food items, such as psilocybin mushrooms, which then completely changed their state of consciousness and put them into direct contact with what they experienced as supernatural beings, with teachings for them. The trick is we have to be in altered states of consciousness to access these teachings. We cannot access them in the normal, alert, competitive, problem-solving state of mind that is so encouraged and praised in modern society today.
The shaman is the figure at the beginning of human history that unites the doctor, the scientist, and the artist into a single notion of caregiving and creativity.
The crucial characteristic of a shaman is that he or she is an individual who has mastered altered states of consciousness, who can put their consciousness into a different place and explore the realms that open up there. So the essence of shamanism is experience and practice. It isn't centuries of so-called knowledge or received wisdom handed down from generation to generation. It isn't a body of texts. It isn't a body of teachings. It's actual direct experience of the supernatural realm attained in deliberately induced altered states of consciousness. The shaman is an active player entering the other realm and negotiating and dealing directly with the spirit beings there for the benefit of humanity.
How seriously, then, are we to take this, I'll call it an obligation, to follow the shamanic thread back into time? Well, I think that it is a matter of saving our own souls.
I believe that God left certain drugs growing naturally upon our planet to help speed up and facilitate our evolution.
Hallucinogens are a value changer. So is marijuana. Like it or not, it changes your values. It opens up windows, doors of perception, Aldous Huxley called them, and you see things differently.
I'm glad they're against the law. You know what happened when I took them? I lay in a field of green grass for 4 hours going, my God, I love everything. The heavens parted, God looked down and rained gifts of forgiveness onto my being, healing me on every level, psychically, physically, emotionally. And I realized our true nature is spirit, not body, that we are eternal beings, and God's love is unconditional. There's nothing we can ever do to change that. It is only our illusion that we are separate from God or that we are alone. In fact, the reality is we are one with God and He loves us. Now, if that isn't a hazard to this country, what's going to happen to the arms industry when we realize we're all one? It's going to fuck up the economy. The economy that's fake anyway.
You know, it's been our modern idea or prejudice that plants don't have consciousness or intelligence, you know, but I think there are certain experiences you have with these substances where you really do feel there's a kind of mind, a kind of vegetal mind, an intelligence, and actually very, very deep wisdom that speaks through these experiences. And you know, Morgan's idea is that, you know, we're actually like the young species on the planet. We've only been here for 100,000 years. We've been racing around, and we're still on our kind of hero's journey. We're trying to figure out where we fit into the natural order of things. And there's this much larger and much older community of life that includes, microbes, plants, animals, and so on. And so the plant kingdom kind of got together, and they designated certain plants to be ambassadors, kind of diplomats, and teachers to work with the human species, to help us evolve and get to this next level of perception and awareness.
36 people were on what many say was a life-changing trip, but none of them ever left a university laboratory. They volunteered to take the psychedelic ingredient that puts the so-called